As I'm sure you know and feel, this is another very sad day in America, another senseless shooting, this time at a high school in Parkland, Florida, where a gunman, a former student, opened fire yesterday. Again, 17 lives have been lost, more than a dozen people are hospitalized, and our president, as he should, weighed in on the tragic events this morning from the White House.
We are all joined together as one American family, and your suffering is our burden also. No child, no teacher should ever be in danger in an American school.
Agreed.
No parent should ever have to fear for their sons and daughters when they kiss them goodbye in the morning.
Agreed. So I agree with both of those statements. And here's what you do to fix that. Tell your buddies in Congress, tell Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and Marco Rubio, all the family men who care so much about their communities, that what we need are laws, real laws, that do everything possible to keep assault rifles out of the hands of people who are going to shoot our kids. Go on TV and tell them to do that. I'll tell you something. That is a perfect example of the common sense you told us you were going to bring to the White House. It's time to bring it. We need it. Tell these congressmen and lobbyists who infest that swamp you said you were going to drain. Force these allegedly Christian men and women who stuff their pockets with money from the NRA year after year after year to do something now, not later, now. And don't you dare let anyone say it's too soon to be talking about it, because he said it after Vegas, he said it after Sandy Hook, you say that after every one of these 8 now fatal school shootings we had in this country this year. Children are being murdered. Do something now! Do something. We still haven't even talked about it. You still haven't done anything about it. You've literally done nothing. Actually, you've done worse than nothing. You like to say this is a mental health issue, but one of your very first acts as president, Mr. Trump, was to actually roll back the regulations that were designed to keep firearms out of the hands of the mentally ill. You did that. Your party voted to repeal the mandates on coverage for mental health. So I agree, this is a mental illness issue, because if you don't think we need to do something about it, you're obviously mentally ill. And it is amazing to me that if one illegal immigrant causes a car accident, we've got to build a wall to keep the rest of them out. Why are you looking for solutions to that problem and not this one? Every reasonable American, Republican or Democrat, knows that something has to be done, something, and we're not doing anything. But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
To every parent, teacher, and child who is hurting so badly, we are here for you, whatever you need, whatever we can do to ease your pain.
Great. Okay, what we need and what you can do to ease our pain and to prevent future pain is something. 8 out of 10 Americans agree that a teenager shouldn't have an AR-15. So why does a teenager legally have an AR-15? Somewhere along the line, these guys forgot they work for us, not the NRA, us. And this time, we're not going to allow you to bow your head in prayer for 2 weeks until you get an all clear and we move on to the next thing. We're going to make sure you do something this time. And if you agree with me, and maybe you don't, but if you do, here's one way you can help. Go to everytown.org. All the information you need is there. And you can write to your representatives and call them. And if they don't listen, vote them out of office. Whatever you do something. Because I, for one, am very, 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 very tired of this.
It's entirely premature to be discussing about legislative solutions, if any.
It's just not the time to dive into the politics and try to score political points.
I think anybody who would politicize this shooting should be ashamed of themselves.
This is not the time to have the discussion, and it's frankly, I think, insulting to the American public right now to try to politicize something.
The reaction of Democrats to any tragedy is to try to politicize it.
I'm more than happy to talk about this in a few days. Right now is not the time.
There's a time and place for a political debate, but now is the time to unite as a country.
This isn't a guns situation. I mean, we could go into it, but it's a little bit soon to go into it.
Yeah, no, it isn't. We'll be right back.
Are you Nicholas Jacob Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. You are charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder. I have something very important to tell you. You're charged with some very serious crimes. You have the right to remain silent. If you give up that right at any time during this hearing, whatever you say can and will be used against you in the prosecution of this case. State, how would you like to proceed today? Are you seeking to hold the defendant no bond and a finding of proof evident, presumption great?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Your Honor, the state's relying on the sworn affidavit that the court has been provided as to the 17 counts of first-degree murder and the contents of the sworn affidavit by detectives citing the actions of the defendant in going to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on February 14th, 2018, with a premeditated design in that he went loaded with an AR-15 rifle. He had additional ammunition with him and shot 17 individuals who later died as a result of the gunshot wounds, and then he fled the scene. So the state is seeking a no bond hold on the defendant.
Okay, defense?
Your Honor, the defense has no arguments at this time and will defer until further court proceedings. We would formally invoke Mr. Cruz's right to remain silent, and that notification relates to any law enforcement agencies that are involved in this case, both at a state and federal level.
Okay, I've reviewed the probable cause affidavit. Mr. Cruz filed in your case, and I find probable cause. I further find the proof of guilt to be evident or the presumption great. Therefore, Mr. Cruz, you're going to be held without bond until further order of the court. This order is without prejudice for you to file a motion to set bond with your assigned division judge and request a hearing under State v. Arthur. Does anybody know, has he been assigned a division judge yet?
Yes, he has, Your Honor. He's been assigned to Judge Shears.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Sir, you're going to be held no bond. Okay. All right, let's go back to, we have to wait for them to bring them back.
And there you had it, mere seconds of taking a look at the man who has been charged, facing 17 counts of premeditated murder about the school shooting that we were talking about 24 hours ago today. I'm Brooke Baldwin here live in Parkland, Florida. And let's just start with what we just saw. Paul Callan is one of our CNN legal analysts, and he joins me now live to just, Paul, I mean, that was mighty quick in front of that magistrate, being held without bond. Walk us through what we just saw.
Well, no surprises here. This is the first appearance in a murder case, and in a murder case, you appear first before this kind of a local magistrate who really focuses only on the issue of whether bail should be granted. And she analyzed really two things in looking at the case: whether there was probable cause that he committed the crime, and the prosecutor indicated there's a very strong showing of probable cause since they have witnesses that he shot 17 people, and that it was premeditated because of his use of the AR-15.
Shot and killed 17 people, shot many more people. I just want to be exact.
Yes, and you know, that's an interesting observation, Brooke, because I was surprised that the prosecutor only referred to the murder counts, which were 17. Yes, there are lots of other victims of the shooting. She indicated that because it's a charge of premeditated murder, that with a strong presumption of guilt, that no bond would be allowed. So that's it. And under Florida law, he'll appear in front of another judge who she mentioned at the end at a later date, and there'll be a determination as to whether there'll be a preliminary hearing where we'll see more evidence or whether this will just be a grand jury presentation.
I do want to ask you before we begin, do you prefer, is Kyrie or Kyrie?
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Kyrie, please.
And is it Irving or Irving?
Irving.
Irving. Okay, yeah. Good. Very good. Well, thanks for coming. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Charles Barkley was here last night, and he was talking about the All-Star game. This is your 5th All-Star game, which is great. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But Charles said that the guys don't play hard during the game, and if they do play hard, they're idiots. Which camp do you fall into on that?
Well, I have a deep-rooted competitive spirit, so when I'm going out there, specific matchups you want to go at, you want to be kind of prepared as best you can, so it's best to get your sleep the night before.
Really? So you're taking it somewhat seriously?
Somewhat. Having some fun at the same time, but, you want to have that I want to destroy you attitude as well. You don't want to get embarrassed out there.
They're doing it very differently this year.
Yep.
In the past, it's been the East versus the West, but now they pick two captains, so LeBron and Steph Curry are the captains, and LeBron picked you to be on his team, and Steph Curry has his team. And that's, first of all, were you happy / surprised that LeBron picked you?
I feel like it was a great choice.
It was a great choice, obviously. And do you know what number you were picked? Because I would imagine in your whole life you've never been picked anything lower than #1 in any school sport or anything like that. Do you know? Because I know Kevin Durant thinks he was picked #1 by LeBron, although I don't know that he knows that. I think he may just be saying it.
And probably in my mind, I want to say I got picked #1.
You got picked #1, yeah.
In actuality, probably no. It's cool. I'm fine with that.
I see. Okay, you didn't ask LeBron where you... Do you talk to him at all?
We've talked,
Do you see yourself... Is there any chance that one day you guys will be on the same team? Not just in the All-Star game. I mean, like, for real.
I mean, in professional sports, anything can happen, so...
Okay.
You never know.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's interesting. It's an interesting way to answer that. Are you enjoying being in Boston?
Yeah.
You like it there?
Yeah, it's new for me. Very new.
What's new about it?
Well, my role, just, you know, getting an understanding of where I want to be going forward within our team, my leadership role. I mean, it's just moving to a new city. I had to uproot myself 6 years being in Cleveland and going to Boston into the summer while shooting a movie, Uncle Drew. So it's a lot of newness going on.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Is that something that you always wanted to do, make a movie? Because I know this character, Uncle Drew, started in a series of Pepsi commercials.
Yes.
And then, how did it become a movie from that? Because I don't think this has happened since... Do you remember Ernest Goes to Camp?
No.
Well, first of all, I recommend it. Secondly, Ernest he did car commercials here in the Southland. And then somebody said, hey, you'd be great in a movie. And they were right. So... How did this happen?
Well, it started in my hometown, New Jersey, Bloomfield, New Jersey. Shout out to everybody from Jersey. And, man, it was a family-oriented Pepsi spot. Started with Pepsi Max, and then we got about 4 chapters. And then Lionsgate approached me, Jay Longino, the writer, Charles Stone, the director. Then it got going in a 2-year process, and I guess you can say I have actor on my...
Yeah, you sure do. And Shaq is one of your co-stars in this movie. Is it intimidating to act alongside one of the greats? I mean, he was in Kazam. This is like... Is that something that you...
I took some notes from him. I took some notes from him for the acting.
We have a clip. This is you and Lil Rel in the movie Uncle Drew, which comes out June 29th.
To all my ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to...
Okay. New rule, young blood. None of this rabbity-hippity-hop nonsense, you understand?
What you mean, rabbity-hippity-hop? That's not what it's called hip-hop.
My call, my version. Talking about styling, what is that?
Well, first of all, I can tell you don't have style because you always got on jogging suits.
Yeah, talking from the hustle with the fake chains.
These are real. I got these for my birthday. So
Yeah,
your business.
Yeah, right. Those
3 checks.
Those cost 50 cents a piece.
3 checks.
My teeth cost more than that.
Is that a custom van? By the way, I don't know. You really got to wear some makeup when you do these movies because you look very old in that one.
I appreciate it.
So that was a fun thing to do, except for the makeup, which was probably terrible.
It was awesome. It was awesome. The commitment and sacrifice to be an actor. I never knew. Aside from, you know, playing basketball, that was something I went into it was just so amazing to experience. Just behind the camera, in front of the camera, the long hours. My final shooting day, I didn't stop shooting until about 12 p.m. the next day. So we started at 4 p.m. and ended 12 p.m. the next day. So
you know, Kobe now is nominated for an Oscar for a short movie he made. Did you know that?
Dear Basketball.
Yeah, right. So
I'm excited for him, man.
Yeah, he's very excited about it too.
Yeah.
You are. I read this about you, and I think it's very interesting. A lot of the guys were talking about what music they listened to in high school, and like one of the guys said Eminem, and one guy said like Outkast, and one of the guys said, I don't know, whatever, Jay-Z or something. Yeah. And you said you listen to musicals. Like, what musicals do you listen to?
Well, my favorite is Rent.
Rent is your favorite.
Yeah.
So, is this something that like you'll try to play in the locker room and try to get the guys going?
I've tried. I've tried, but I get the same usual stares. Just
they're not into.
No, they're not.
8,000, 2,500, 600 minutes, or whatever.
520.
Oh, sorry, I don't know. Listen, I'm not a stats guy. You also have a tattoo, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not, of the Friends television show logo on your body.
Yeah,
Where is the tattoo?
It's on my left forearm right here.
Why? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah. Why do you have it?
I mean, one, who isn't a Friends fan, and then...
and then you really are a Friends fan.
And then... secondly, one of my best friends, or two of my best friends, we have tattoos together.
Oh, your best friends named like Joey and...
No.
Are these real friends or imaginary?
No, I hope they're not imaginary.
By the way, I know you asked about this a million times, but I'm particularly interested in it. You went on a podcast and you said you believe the Earth was flat. And do you actually, you want to reel that in, or you still believe the Earth is flat?
You know what, you've always tried to come back, take the statement back, but
yeah, but
on that podcast, I was just really like, man, what's going on within our world? And just a whole bunch of truth and conspiracy. I was just like, whoa, this is too much for me. And then I come out and say that, and then, whoo, the reaction it got.
Yeah, because people think maybe your brain collapsed or something like that.
It didn't.
It didn't.
No, I'm actually intellectually stable.
Well, I did give you, because you seem like a pretty bright guy, so I gave you this, and maybe like you can, at work, you can look at this. This is a gift for you. That's one of a kind there. And you can just ponder the potential realities of the world and its possible roundness.
Yeah, spinning. It's spinning. Just spinning.
Try to work that into the game on Sunday. It's great to see you. Kyrie Irving, everybody. NBA 2K18 is out now, and Uncle Drew, June 29th. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and I am not allowed to eat this cookie until you click the subscribe button. So please click now. I'm hungry.